Welcome back to another episode of Alestletics. Sam and Audrey joining you. And Audrey, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Sam. How are you?
I'm doing okay. But you know what? We're gonna go into a bit of a focus on one team today, because I know last week we really talked a lot about several teams and how they did or how they were about to do going into the season. Obviously, baseball and softball are starting up. We'll get to that a little bit later. But men's basketball has kind of had an interesting storyline of interesting non-conference schedule, and they did okay at moments and not okay, and then they get into conference and they kind of stumble a bit, then they pick it up, and now they're having some more. They had some problems, and now they're back to doing good. It's been a very roller coaster of a season, but let's take a look at the standings to start. We have UT Martin leading the OVC with an 11-2 record in conference, 19-5 outside. Tennessee State with a 9-4. SEMO just tied that last night with a win. So they are both 9-4. Tennessee State has a 15-8 record. SEMO with a 14-10. Lindenwood has a 9-5 record. They just jumped over SIUE with their win last night. They're 15-10 overall. SIUE has an 8-5 record, 15-9 overall. Then you have Morehead State, who's 8-5 in OVC. Little Rock, who is 6-7. Tennessee Tech. You can't take this seriously, can you? You're like a middle school.
6-7. All right.
Well, that's the record. I can't change it. Little Rock would probably like to change it, but they can't either. Tennessee Tech is 5-8, and then below the playoff line. So as we are approaching the end of the season, we're not quite there yet. We're about 1/3 left to go. Eastern has a 5-8 record. Southern Indiana with a 2-11, and Western Illinois sitting with a sad 0-13. Sits at the bottom of the standings. So, interestingly enough, as I mentioned, the Cougars are 15-9 overall on the season. Again, not a stellar record, especially in OVC. They're 8-5, but they've had a bit of an up and down year, Audrey, and maybe you could tell us a little bit why that is.
So Ring Malith has actually gotten injured and been missing from the team since New Year's Day.
Yeah, and that was against Southern Indiana, in which he, just give you some context, Ring Malith in 3 OVC games has 59 points. So he's a pivotal player for the team, a bit of a important player that they build around. And now they've been playing without him for the last 10 games. So 10 games without Ring Malith.
That's a lot.
Which is kind of crazy. The Cougars' record now, it's been built up a little bit as they've kind of refound their step without Malith, is 6-4. So without Malith playing and since New Year's Day, the Cougars are trending in the right direction, which is what you want to see. Now, just for some note, here's where the struggle came in, and with the 4 games after Ring Malith was injured, they lost 3 of those 4. So 4 of those losses were right after losing Ring Malith. Again, showing you the kind of importance he has to the team. But with that, with the loss, you have to have players that step up, and we've seen that.
So we have seen the emergence of Sakanis, where he's gotten 146 points in 13 OVC games.
Yeah, and talking about Sakanis, he's been here all 4 years.
He has.
Really interesting story. And now he's set a career high for points in a season, which is 200 points in 24 games played so far. His previous high was 24-25, in which he had 118 points in 26 games played. So pretty impressive feat there for Sakanis. Again, not typically your all-out scorer, but usually the rebound guy based on his insane height.
Well, yes.
That helps out with that statistic, but this is nice to see him taking charge in the absence of Ring Malith. He's also had 426 points in 88 games played as a Cougar. And if you're SIUE, really, all things are geared towards the playoffs. Right now, they are sitting 3 teams ahead of the playoff line, and the reverse record of Eastern 5-8, so they have to really drop the ball, and Eastern would have to pick it up to kick them out of a playoff run. However, the first 4 teams, I believe, or the first 2 teams get a complete bye, so they get like a 2-step bye, and then I believe SEMO and Lindenwood, if they stayed where they are, would also get some kind of bye for like 1 round. So you want to get into those bye rounds if you're the Cougars, and that's the thing. They have 7 games left before the postseason starts. Audrey, what are your thoughts? Do you think SIUE can clinch one of either a number 1 or 2 seed, or maybe a 3 or 4?
Oh, I'm not I'm not too hopeful in that 1 and 2. We have seen a lot from UT Martin and now SEMO. But I am confident that they can reach up into the 3 or 4th spot. They're kind of, regaining their momentum after losing Ring, and as we can see, it's not too bad.
Yeah, and of another note, which this is really important wins, and these are why conference games are so, depending who you play each night and how you do against a team can really determine your placement. SIUE has beat Lindenwood twice. So, and I know it's like, oh, well, that's really great. Like, I'm glad to see that we're beating they're in our state rivalry or whatever. But the key part is that Lindenwood is tied with them, or I'm sorry, they have one more win than the Cougars. But that's they could lose out. SIUE has full control over their destiny. Lindenwood has less control in this situation because they've lost both games to the Cougars, and it was a tight game. Both games, I believe, 1 or 2 of those games was played without Ring Malith. So winning both against a very good Lindenwood team, they are not a team to bat an eye at, even though they might not be in the top 2 or top 3. They are still a competitive team, and the Cougars have taken them really to the basket each time and dunked on them, which is good to see. So, not to mention, but they also have beat SEMO once.
Yes.
So
yes.
the
rivalry.
The rivalry of last season's storyline is a 1-0 so far. I believe they do play SEMO one more time before the end of the season. So there's again SIUE with a lot of control over their own destiny here. Hopefully they can get the wins they need to over the teams below them. And then maybe capitalize on some of those wins against teams that are just barely ahead of them, because SEMO is only 1 win away, you know, and they could be right back at the top into a bye, at least for the first round. But, man, we got to talk about Western, though, just at the bottom of the league. It's so sad. They haven't even won yet.
It's okay. They won 4 non-conference games.
Yeah, they did.
Out of
24.
24.
24 games total. They've won 4. Yeah, it's rough down there at the bottom of the league. We got to, although I have seen a lot of talk about UT Martin as well on the national level. Lots of proposals that they're going to make it to the NCAA finals. They're the favorite of the OVC conference. Obviously, having an 11-2 record and a 19-5 overall record is impressive. We'll see if there's a secret champion, as there was last year.
I was going to say, you never know. Anything can happen.
You know what, though? I think that this is a good situation for SIUE. I think they'd rather be the underdog than the...
Yeah.
And I was also talking with someone who works in athletics, and they were like, there was only... So in the playoffs, they play back-to-back days, right? They don't take a break in between. So, like, if SIUE, let's just say SIUE makes it by the skin of their teeth, they're in, you know, and they have to play like 4 days in a row, or 2 days and then 2 days or something like that. It's a lot of back-to-back action. And he was saying the only team that's done that in this calendar year is SIUE. Or no. Yeah, no, it wasn't SEMO and SIUE because they had buys. So it was like 2 teams that played last year in the early rounds and got knocked out. They played back-to-back games. But then because of the weather, they played back-to-back games this season as well, during the season, which they don't normally do. And he was saying, like, oh, that could be, like, a determining factor, like, if they make it into the playoffs, which I think he said it was Eastern and Western, which they're not currently in the playoffs right now.
Right.
But that's something to think about if you're SIUE. You're not playing with breaks anymore. You're playing back-to-back, which can be grueling, apparently, for a pretty injured team as is. So, I don't know. There's a lot to see there coming up with the Cougars basketball team, so stay tuned for that. Again, 7 games left on the season. Enjoy the stories you're hearing on today's show? Follow the Alestle on all social media platforms like Instagram for quick updates, YouTube for multimedia content, or go to our website at www.alestlelive.com for more stories in news, life, opinion, and sports, and get all the updates on the SIUE campus. Now, back to the show. Let's talk about what's going on today, because once you're done listening to this, go and listen to Alestle After Hours if you haven't, but then right after that, it should lead you up to about game time for everything going on today, because there's a lot. Softball kicks off their tournament. We talked about this last week, Audrey, how they are playing in California. They'll kick off against Idaho State, or kick off. They're not really playing with soccer. They'll actually throw the first pitch.
They'll do a little toss.
Yeah, they'll toss the first pitch at 1 p.m. Central Time, but maybe that one will not be streamed live, unfortunately, but you can follow along.
You can imagine in your head.
Yeah, you can picture. I mean, they're probably enjoying it. It's California. They're probably having a great time. So enjoy a lot of happy softball players.
Yeah.
Hopefully they can pull out a win against Idaho State. But if you are looking for something to watch with your own eyes, women's basketball will be taking on Little Rock at 1 p.m. as well.
And then men's basketball will actually be taking on Little Rock right after that at 3 p.m. So what a little doubleheader moment you can watch.
Yeah, and again, that's one of those teams that's below SIUE in the standings. So that's a game to watch.
So, yeah, you want them to, yep. And then we have tennis versus Mizzou at 3 p.m. And then we have...
softball returns back to action.
That's right.
And that's back against... So the hosting team is Fresno State, California. And so they play Idaho State first at 1, and then they'll play Fresno at 3 p.m. So, again, lots of action today here if you're a Cougars fan. And, again, unfortunately, softball is not streamed live, but at least you can still follow along. And that's their first game. So, lots to think about here in the SIUE sports world. Audrey, do we have anything else?
I just want to give a shout-out to... SEMO's Barstool. I would like to say that whoever is running that account has a bright future ahead until they post about us. But in the meantime, I love the work. I think it's funny, and I think we should do something like that.
Yeah, well, maybe not you and I, but definitely someone here should.
Someone at SIU should create. Well, there is a Barstool, but it's dead.
Yeah, sadly.
Make it alive.
They are funny. You got to give them credit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of Barstool, I think like memes and sports are just so hand in hand. You know, like they really are though. Like they have so many moments of just like memeable moments in sports.
Clip that.
I hate to say it, like it feels wrong.
Sam will literally send me memes on Instagram, sports memes
from SEMO's Barstool.
Yes.
I will. Well, it's because SEMO will, I don't know, they'll destroy someone, or they'll beat. What's funny is actually when they beat them by like 2.
They think they're hot stuff, bro.
And they post like, we obliterated.
We dominated.
They don't even know what basketball is. Like it's so funny. Like, it is good.
Yeah.
Where is SIUE's Barstool? Where are they?
I don't know. Bring that back. I could think of a lot of good Eddie memes.
Yes.
Cougar memes.
Cougar memes. Yeah.
Not too much on Cougar memes.
Cougar memes. There's just a website you go.
No, stop. Don't look that up. Nobody look that up.
No, don't look it up. No. Okay. Well, I think that will just about do it here for our show today. Don't forget, you can follow us on X. You can also, like I said, you could tune into Alestle After Hours if you haven't. That's also posted right now at 10 a.m. So check that out, and we'll be back next week with a bit of a more in-depth episode, as well as some sports stories to talk about, maybe, potentially.
What an outro, Sam.
Yeah, right? So stay tuned for that. And again, you can listen to this podcast on Spotify or YouTube, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.